Love is beautiful, but not always easy. Behind every breakup and every broken promise lies a story, a lesson waiting to be learned. Why Failed Relationship is where we uncover those truths, explore the mistakes that end love, and share the insights that help you build healthier, lasting connections.
Welcome back to Why Failed Relationship. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. And if you've been following the channel for a while, it's great to have you back. This is the place where we talk honestly about relationships, why they work, why they sometimes fall apart, and what we can all learn from them. Today, I want to talk about something that's actually more common than most people realize. Why do people fall out of love? It's a question that confuses a lot of people. How do two people who were once completely crazy about each other end up feeling distant, almost like strangers living in the same house? The truth is, it usually doesn't happen overnight. Most of the time, love doesn't disappear in one big moment. It fades little by little, almost like a candle that's burning brightly at first, but over time, the flame gets smaller because no one is taking care of it. One of the biggest reasons this happens is simply neglect. And I'm not talking about obvious neglect. I'm talking about the small things that slowly disappear over time. At the beginning of a relationship, you can't wait to text each other. You ask how their day went. You plan little surprises. You make time for each other, even when you're busy. But after a while, life gets in the way. The conversations become about bills, work, kids, or what's for dinner. It's not always because the love is gone. Sometimes it's because you've stopped feeding it. Love is a lot like a plant. If you stop watering it, it doesn't die immediately. It slowly begins to wither. Another reason people fall out of love is unresolved conflict. Every couple argues. That's completely normal. The real problem is when those arguments never actually get resolved. Instead, they get pushed aside. Then another disagreement happens, and another. Before you know it, you've built up months or even years of resentment. Think of it like carrying a backpack. Every unresolved issue adds another weight inside. At first, it's manageable, but eventually, the bag becomes so heavy that kindness, patience, and affection don't come naturally anymore. Another thing that can pull people apart is change. People grow. Sometimes one person becomes more ambitious while the other wants a slower, quieter life. Sometimes one person grows emotionally or spiritually while the other stays the same. There's nothing wrong with changing. The problem is when you're no longer growing together. Over time, that gap gets wider until it starts to feel like you're sharing a house with someone you barely recognize. And then there are expectations. Sometimes we don't fall in love with the person who's actually in front of us. We fall in love with who we believe they are or who we hope they'll become. But eventually, reality shows up. Maybe they're not as affectionate as you imagined. Maybe they don't want the same future you do. Maybe your values aren't as aligned as you first thought. When expectations don't match reality, disappointment slowly replaces excitement, and holding on to the relationship becomes much harder. So why do people fall out of love? More often than not, it's not because of one dramatic event. It's the little things: neglect, unresolved resentment, growing in different directions, or expectations that never matched reality in the first place. Those small things may not seem like much on their own, but over time, they slowly dim the spark that once felt impossible to lose. But here's the encouraging part. Falling out of love doesn't always mean the relationship is over. Sometimes it's simply a signal, a reminder that something needs attention. Maybe it's time to spend quality time together again. Maybe it's time to have the conversations you've been avoiding. Maybe it's time to really listen to each other instead of just hearing the words. Because love isn't just something you feel, it's something you choose again and again. And when two people are willing to make that choice together, even a relationship that's losing its spark can begin to feel alive again. Thank you so much for spending these few minutes with me today. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing to the channel and sharing it with someone who might need to hear it. And I'd really love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever experienced falling out of love, or do you think love can always be rebuilt? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of the people you love, and I'll see you in the next episode of Why Failed Relationship.